The views and opinions expressed on this station do not reflect the owners, management, staff, clients, or partners. Medical House presents Bermuda's most viewed and listened to talk show. The Daily Hour starts now.
It's Friday, the 30th day of October. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House and Lindo's. I'm Jamal Hartman, along with Carla Zul. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. If you haven't already, you know what to do. Share the link, start a watch party, just get the conversation out there to your network. Supposed to have a good one for you today with Catherine Kempe, but even if we don't, we're going to have a good one with you. We have a lot to talk about. No, not just my attire. I mean, yeah, I look like I'm on beautiful
Gilligan's Island, buddy.
yeah, hey, when in Rome, do as the Romans, right?
Well,
But
I'm excited because I'm in Antigua as well.
right. Technology can do some things. Oh, and technology can do some things, right? But look, how's that beach? What beach is that, Carla?
The one that Jamela and Nikki upon.
Oh, right. Okay. Well,
You all working, have a good time without me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going beaching today.
oh, right. So you just
Mm.
decided, you know what? Let me jump on that wing of the plane and just see where it goes.
It's all in your mind.
All right. So maybe I should tell her we're in Grenada and not Antigua. Look, a lot to talk about. So I'm on vacation, as you all know, and I saw some reports yesterday about Bermuda, but I want to tell you about my experience traveling here because I lack patience in many areas, and so of the coronavirus test last week, and then we had to go to the um, oopsie, sorry, excuse me. We had the COVID test last week, then we had to go to the airport, and you had to go through all this stuff, waiting in lines, and then you have to go through one checkpoint, and then another checkpoint, and then once we arrived here, it was another long process. I say that because looks like Bermuda had 811 cases, not cases, 811 tests and 4 reported cases yesterday, right? And they were all locals returning. And I see people saying, well, people shouldn't be traveling unless they have to and stuff like that. I remember September 11th, 2001. I had been off the island in Alabama in school for about 3 weeks at that. No, but yeah, about a month at that time. And it changed the way we travel forever. I mean, there are people in their 20s that don't remember how you used to be able to go right up into to the gate with family when they were traveling, right? There are people who their only recollection of travel is people dropping them at the curb and leaving. That's not how travel was pre 2001. And so travel forever changed. And I remember people saying after September 11th that, wow, this is one of the best times to travel because it's so safe. I mean, right after September 11th, you had to do the security check right before you got on the airplane, everything. It was just phenomenal. I say that to say this. Seeing the Twitter debates and everyone saying, oh, if you don't have to travel, why are you leaving? Why Bermudians going overseas, this, that, and the other. Truth is, right now is probably one of the best times to travel when you see the amount of precautions. I think I mentioned to you yesterday about restaurants, Carla, that when I see the people in the restaurants, like the chefs with the mask and like almost covered, you can only see their eyes, and even the waitresses. To me, that should have been standard practice anyway,
Mm-hmm.
right? That legit should have been standard practice anyway. But I just think people need to be at ease, because at the end of the day, I want people to change their mindset on one thing. 2020 ends in 2 months. That don't mean this virus is going anywhere. So first we need to stop acting like this is a 2020 thing. This virus will still be here in 2021 and likely 2022. Once we can agree that on that, let's move to the next step. How can we then live and adapt to these new challenges? Not live in bondage, because we spoke about the importance of vacations. And to be on, and this is just my truth, to have to remain on the island of Bermuda without getting off, if you're used to getting away, that could be painful for some people.
But with those four, if my understanding is correct, I thought they said they had pre-departure tests. So my question was, were these tests they were administered faulty? Because it said that they had pre-registered tests before landing.
Mm. Well, that's interesting you asked, because when you asked that question, I then asked, because remember we had Dr. Weldon on, and we spoke about the success rate of the testing as well, right? So there's so many questions. I just think to have an attitude of anyone, and I think I read some comment that said, if you don't have to travel, if it's not a necessity, then please don't. Well, who determines what's necessary? Who determines what's necessary travel?
I have a cousin in the UK, and she just turned 30, and she spent the entire pandemic alone.
Hmm.
She lives about an hour away, and it was her birthday recently, and she was in Bermuda. And I was like, oh, wow. And she said, Auntie, she said, people don't understand what it was like for those of us that were by ourselves. So
Hmm.
for her, although she was going on holiday home, she needed it. She
Hmm.
was like, people didn't understand. And, people complain about people traveling, but you don't know what it gives them mentally.
Hmm. And that's it right there. Deborah Titter Narrowway, sorry, says you can test negative today and positive tomorrow. Again, and this is correct. This is what people need to remember. And you can also test positive today and negative tomorrow. So those people who tested positive yesterday, or the results were shared, could absolutely be negative tomorrow, right? The Nachika Trot, this is the best time to travel for great travel deals as well. Having recently returned to Bermuda, my experience at the Bermuda airport is smooth sailing. We must all get used to traveling in the new norm of COVID. And again, I don't have the greatest patience. I don't. So I was a little annoyed standing in the airport and waiting on this and waiting on that. I mean, I've probably never had my temperature taken so many times. Well, I haven't. I haven't had my temperature taken so many times. But it's all in the name of safety and better traveling. But I think I just want us to change our mindset. I understood that, I was getting away on this vacation. We were coming down to Antigua. First thing I had to understand, it was going to be a different travel experience. I knew that we were going to have to do the test, the nose thing. I knew that it was going to be a longer process. I knew that it was not going to be as smooth as once was. Thankfully for us, after how long it took before I got it, global entry. Um, Thankfully, I have that, and it's a bit easier than the normal traveler, because I don't have to take my shoes off or take my laptop. Like, you just literally just fly through the security checkpoint in the U.S. end. But our mindset has to change, and I think the reality is really going to kick in on January 1st, when people
Mhm.
when people start to understand that this was not a 2020 thing.
So, question for you: were there many people traveling, not natives that you could tell, but were many tourists going to Antigua?
Well, I'm glad you asked. We met. Well, I'm not as friendly as my cohort here anymore. It's just the social one.
He said anymore.
Well, people don't tend to like me as much anymore. They never did. But we met a couple. First couple we met, they were sitting behind us, and they were from Manchester, England. So
Oh,
we got in a nice chat. What were their names? The Williams from Manchester. And so the Williams, we got to talking, and I said, "Oh, Manchester, I'm a big fan." And I almost said I was still a fan, and I had to correct myself. I'm a former supporter of Manchester United, and they told me they have season tickets, and I almost said, "I'm sorry to hear that." And so, yeah, we got talking about the game, and then we got separated. Then we met another couple last night from Dallas, Texas, and we start sharing our travel. Now, they are travelers. Middle-aged black couple, very nice people from Dallas, and start talking about South Africa and Australia and different places. But all in all, we spoke about the travel experience. And to answer your question, whether or not it was a lot of travelers, like tourists,
mhm.
there were a good bunch. We saw a travel group. It looks like a lot of people from the UK because you had Virgin and British. I was kind of jealous that Bermuda still doesn't have Virgin travel to Bermuda, but we're not going to go there. But it was a good bunch. And what's also interesting, when we got in and we went by the pool, and I think this is one of the biggest pools of this franchise in the Caribbean, it was full. In the Eastern Caribbean, sorry. It was full. You can see I'm getting corrected in the background here. Trying to keep me credible. But there were a lot of people in the pool, and I said, this is actually good marketing from this place.
With
And
mask on, I have to
yeah, they
ask.
didn't have masks on out in the pool. You have to have masks on everywhere else. But what I forgot to mention through all this, you have to put hand sanitizer on everywhere you go. So by the time you land, you have people squirting it in your hand. All through the airport, each section, customs, then immigration, then even when you drop your bags on the sidewalk, more hand sanitizer. When you get in the transportation, they give you more hand sanitizer. I mean, he gave everyone enough to get a bath in yesterday, right? Get to the hotel, you have to have more hand sanitizer before you can enter. When you get down to the restaurant, more hand sanitizer. So it's almost like, I mean, my goodness, I don't. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. So they're taking a lot of safety precautions, and I'll say this much: I was told that there are a lot of people traveling to Mexico right now, right?
Mhm.
And with Mexico, apparently there's no test you have to take. I didn't know that. Well, coming here, a place like Antigua, I mean, you've just got to feel safe. There are tests happening.
Now,
So
do you have to take pre-departure tests as a requirement to go back home or no?
no, because we already took tests before we left. And so once we go back, we're smooth sailing. We are good. And what's interesting is, I mean, we live in Florida. I don't think Florida has any business being rude to anybody when it comes to COVID testing the way they've gone on. I mean, they've had me living in home in prison for the last few months because just the way they handled the situation. But no, it's been smooth, and I expect it. I mean, we were in this event last night, and we all had masks on, and then when everyone left, us and the other couple they're talking, and we didn't have our mask on at this point, and they were speaking about how, you know what, because all of us had to be tested and had to go through these processes, we actually feel safe speaking without mask on. It was interesting, and I think that's why you'll go by the pool and you'll see people without masks, because you know that everyone here had to take tests and go through multiple screenings just to get here.
Mhm.
Quite the story, quite interesting. But I mean, again, if anything that we've spoken about this morning, I just hope that Bermudians can understand that this virus is not going away. This is not a 2020 thing. It's time to remove from your head, your space, that you honestly believe that, oh, this 2020 is a wash. I can't wait to 2021. No, what needs to happen is 2021. You need to adjust it. You can't live in bondage. You can't act like, well, I'm staying until this virus goes away. It's not it doesn't work like that. What
Mhm.
you have to do is take the necessary precautions if you or someone you love is living in a vulnerable state as it comes to it. Baby Rocco, Carla.
The world has been living with different forms of coronavirus. This one is deadly, but will be similar to the other forms over time, is my prediction.
All righty. Well,
Was it worth it, Jamal, though, for you?
real quickly, Shari says if you're Trump, it ends on November 4th. Was what worth it? Vacation?
Doing all of this to get to the vacation.
Um, my impatience says no, but I mean, I'll be able to answer that better. And
When you're back.
yeah, on Sunday evening. Yeah. The hold on. Baby Rocco says another thing. Any companies that are producers of hand sanitizers or cleaning products, if they were financially in trouble before COVID, has business booming. Well, I thought of that. And I even one of our sponsors, Medical House, where you can get hand sanitizer, by the way, folks, at Medical House. So if you're running out, go check our friends at Medical. Where are they located, Carl?
22 Mill Reach Lane in Pembroke.
There you go. There you go. We have a long comment. I'm not going to put it on screen because it's long, but Jeremiah Micah Haywood says, I believe that the protocols implemented at the onset were great. We limited the spread. Now we know more about the virus and can learn to live with it. We know that there is 99% survival rate. I'm not going to say that's for sure, but that's what's been reported some places. That most people experience no symptoms, and who the virus affects most, elderly, those with whatever that word is. On top of that, the potential for spread is prevented as it within a closed system, pre-test, airport quarantines. Since we had 0 cases, the only new cases are imported. All right. So, thank you, Leslie. We appreciate you. Thank you very
It
much.
makes me think of watermelon and avocado
No.
slash banana.
Don't do the watermelon to me. Charles says, having recently spent a month in Bermuda, I honestly felt a lot safer while there. As soon as I got off the plane when returning to the U.S., my anxiety level went up. All right. So, Carla, you have some news for us, don't you?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go to the news and then we'll come back. Hopefully, Miss Kemp is good to go. We try to have people come on just to let you all know before the show so that we can avoid any technical glitches when we go live. So hopefully we're good and we don't have any technical glitches once we bring her on. But Carla, let us have some news. We need some good stuff. So don't give me none of this, bad stuff that's going to make me feel a bit down. I'm on vacation. I need upliftment. All right.
Apologizing in advance.
Oh my, bad news, Brown.
Again, doing the news from sunny Antigua in my mind, a data and software firm is to move 90 of its staff to the island under the Bermuda government's one-year digital nomad residential certificate scheme. Jason Haywood, Minister of Labor, said the Affinity International Holdings, which is headquartered in Bermuda, would also take on 10 Bermudian staff and plan to build up its permanent presence on the island. Mr. Haywood said the one-year residency certificate program, which allows workers from overseas to take advantage of the island's low COVID-19 rates and operate from Bermuda, has had 442 certificates approved out of 557 applications. Affinity, an artificial intelligence company, includes Dame Jennifer Smith, a former premier, among its board of directors. Mr. Hayward said most of the staff who would come to the island were from Pakistan and would work at home in Bermuda while the company goes through the process of applying for traditional work permits. He added, if successful, the work permits will allow the immediate transfer of staff to the local company. 4 new coronavirus cases were recorded in Bermuda on Wednesday, all being returning residents with pre departure tests. They were among 811 test results that returned, according to health officials. Minister of Health Kim Wilson warned against overseas travel unless it was essential, saying essential travel may include for medical visits or children returning to school. She added, we need to continue with our precautions of correct mask wearing, physical distancing, and ensuring activities or events, if they must be held, are held outside as often as possible. The pandemic is still very much ravaging through the world, with many countries going on lockdown again. We do not want to have a rollback. We do not want to have to roll back the current freedoms we have in Bermuda, she says. But if we do not adhere to these public health measures in our offices, homes, or other settings, we may lose control of this virus. Golf great Jack Nicklaus says he's voted for U.S. President Donald Trump and has encouraged other American voters to do the same ahead of next week's election. CNN is reporting in a social media post the 18-time major winner and arguably the greatest golfer of all time wrote that Trump's love for America and its citizens and putting his country first has come through loud and clear during the president's first term. Nicholas added in his statement, I have had the privilege over the last 3.5 years to get to know our current president a little more as his term has progressed. I have been very disappointed at what he's had to put up with from many directions, and with that, I have seen a resolve and determination to do the right thing for our country. He has delivered on his promises. He's worked for the average person. Jamal, I know you like fries and chips and avocado and pumpkin, but do you like candy corn?
I don't eat wax.
You actually look kind of candy cornish today. That's what you look like, a cute little candy corn. You either love it or hate it. It's the little variance. There's very little variance between the two. Candy corn, some describe as it's waxy and sickeningly sweet, and others just can't seem to get enough of the treat. Today, you guys, is candy corn day. In the late 1800s, George Renninger of the Wonder Candy Company created this colorful confection to celebrate the beauty of corn and the deep autumn colors. How do you celebrate? However you want. And you can have Jamal and I share. Turning to weather with a mix of sun and clouds, the high in Bermuda today is expected to reach 83, 64 in Dallas, Texas, and 58 in Birmingham, UK. Don't forget, Medical House is your number one source of PPE supplies, masks, face shields, disinfectants, sanitizers, gloves, gowns, no-touch thermometers, and so much more at the lowest prices. Visit Medical House today at 22 Millreach Lane in Pembroke. And on a programming note, get your weekend started with Juggle and Jason and the Office Workout on the Full 100 radio from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in Bermuda this and every, well, it's all over the world, but 10 to 3 Bermuda time this and every Friday. That's your Daily Hour news break.
All right. Thanks for the lack of positive news over there, Carla. Interesting from Jack Nicholas, but just want to see that Little Wayne, the rapper, gave a huge endorsement to President Donald Trump last night. Huge endorsement. So interesting how his celebrity friends are coming out. And but I think what's most interesting about Mr. Nicholas' comment is saying how he's done so much for the average
person.
Mr. Nicholas, you, my friend, are not average. On that note, we'll take a break. Be right back with the OBA candidate for the chair position, Catherine Kempe.
Good day, Medical House, Doris speaking. Can I help you?
Medical House is Bermuda's leading one-stop shop for healthcare.
Medical House is a great resource for Leroy. The service is excellent.
Medical House is best known for its uniforms and footwear. It has hundreds of styles of scrubs and nurses' uniforms for health professionals. Bermuda's top doctors, dentists, care homes, and the hospital choose Medical House for a wide range of products. These same professional quality products are available to you for home health care.
The biggest reason to come see us is that we specialize in these areas and the education and knowledge that we provide.
Medical House is on Millreach Lane in Pembroke, where there's private parking right outside the door. Call or visit Medical House today.
This month, we're featuring Evian Natural Spring Water, brought to us by John Barrett & Son. Evian water is among the best-known bottled mineral waters on the market and was one of the first, originating at sources on the south shore of Lake Geneva almost 2 centuries ago. It's good to know also that Evian has instituted extensive water management projects on 3 continents, working as the Evian Water Protection Institute to help address one of the world's major ongoing issues: access to safe, abundant water for all. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
All right, welcome back to the big show, live out of Antigua. Well, both of us, according to Carla. Thanks again to Medical House and Lindo's, making sure we're able to bring you these conversations. Carla Zoom, myself, Jamel Hartman. Don't forget Crimson Multimedia, Channel 82 out there. home of the Daily Hour on TV via One Communications. They also have a lot of other good programs taking place, local content. So don't forget, after Daily Hour, you can always stay tuned and watch some of the other local programming on Channel 82. So support us all through it. If you know people who maybe in the UK, we've gotten a lot of people this week that are in the UK saying, man, the times messed me up. Don't forget, you can always rewatch this show on the internet. It doesn't leave the internet. So anything Carla says, it's not going away. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Without further ado, let's bring on our guest for the day, candidate for the OBA chair position, Catherine, I would say friend of the show at this point. Once you come 2 times, you're a friend of the show. So Catherine Kempe, let's bring her on. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
No problem. Well, first off, I'm so sorry. I honestly, let us apologize at the fact that both Carla and myself are actually in Antigua, and we're stuck in beautiful Bermuda. Yeah.
I know. I did try and change my green screen for you, but unfortunately it wasn't working for me this morning. So
it happens to the best.
Yeah.
But before we even get into the convo about the chair, I just have to ask you, there was an election beginning of the month.
Yeah.
And basically it was the result was surprising to a lot of people. But did it surprise you? And what does the OBA have to do to change its fortunes?
It did surprise me a little bit. We, after the 2017 election, we really imploded, as a party. We did not communicate. We did not have the gusto. We did not have the motivation after the 2017 election. And there was a lot of things that went wrong at that point within the party. But the difference is today is that, we lost, fully aware of that, but we're still in the room. Our candidates are all still in the room talking, wanting to move forward, out there already canvassing. 3 of us have already been out canvassing again. Our volunteers are coming back saying, you know what can we do to help? And that's a great momentum to keep us going forward. So we didn't do so well, but I think with some right strategic planning, we can absolutely, be that strong opposition that the country needs us to be.
Okay. There are people who believe that the party should just go away, seen as some freedom democratic movement candidates actually beat out OBA candidates despite only existing for a matter of weeks before the election. What are your thoughts on that?
If the OBA goes away, there's going to always be a segment of that party that is going to join up to whatever other party is there. So to say that the OBA is going to go away or is not true. So you need to recognize, though, that in 2012, a lot of our platform goals that were really aspirational were quite in line with what the FDM had in their platform as well. The real big difference is that, when we became government in 2012, we quickly realized that we had very lofty goals that we were not able to achieve.
So, Ms. Kempe, as chairwoman, what direction would you want the party to see in so that you can restore that faith?
Well, we need to get back down to our grassroots. We need to get back down to our community level, to the volunteer level, the items that brought us in the room initially. When we started the party back in 2011 and we started the shadow boards and the committees, and we actually used the expertise of our volunteers to help guide us and shape us. And it really motivated the party. It built the party to what it was to win the 2012 election. We need to get back there to recognize that we discounted most of our volunteers since the 2012 election. And we need to recognize that, we do not know it all. And we need the experts and we need the community support. But we also need to be back out there, walking around in the community, talking to people, being a more visible presence as well. So.
Why have you decided to put your name in the hat for this chair position?
It was the natural progression. So I talk a lot about the shadow boards because that's actually where I came from. So, I, as an expert in healthcare, was brought into the shadow boards back in 2011, 2012, and I have grown within the party since then. I have run campaigns for individual candidates. I have run by-elections. I have worked on the general campaign. I've been party secretary. I have been deputy chair. And every time I step up to a new position, everyone's like, wow, you've done really well with this, considering the circumstances. And so this was just the most natural progression, to move forward, to continue to serve and to get that strategic plan of getting the party back on track.
So you're up against the Justin Matthias, right? Mr. Matthias, I believe he's a former chair and he's been a former candidate. What makes you a better candidate than Mr. Matthias for this position?
I have a really strong team that's already supporting me behind the scenes. So our two deputy chairs, Victoria Cunningham and Michael Can, are part of the team that initially, when we were working on our nomination things, we were running as a ticket. And nobody ran against them as deputy chair. So they are automatically in to be conferred at our general conference. But we put together a strategic plan as a team. I've got the backing of the candidates. I have the backing of volunteers, current and former ones, who have said that, you know what, if this is the team that we've put together, if this is the plan that we're going to do, then absolutely they're back on board and they will support us.
Now, Ms. Kemp, you've spoken of achievements as such as you've accomplished within the party, but what about your personal attributes? Your potential voters are listening. Why would they want to vote for you as the person?
I am an extremely level-headed, logical, caring, giving person. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm involved with the medical council as an ethical advisor. I sit on the Bermuda Heart Foundation board. I sit with my children's parent teacher organization on the Smiths Parish Council. When people say, can you give more? It's not, it's how can I give and what can I do to help make it and what skill set can I bring to that, but also what skills can I learn from that position as well, which is really an amazing experience. Yesterday I could have, you would have seen my tweet last night potentially that, yesterday I worked a full days of work. I got my kids to and from camps. I had a Heart Foundation board meeting. I was canvassing for the campaign. I had a Smiths Parish Council meeting, and then I helped teach my son how to bake cupcakes that we're giving away to the 19th Cub Scouts for tonight as a little Halloween treat. That invigorates me. That makes me want to do more. That giving back is very addictive.
The OBA recently had something in the press about a new leader, that being Cole Simons. And I saw a gentleman on Twitter who basically said the OBA is finally listening to people, to which my response was, I don't think the people were telling them they need a new leader. They were telling them they need a fold. However, I am only on the outside looking in based on what I see. I would have thought that Susan Jackson, being the only woman, would have probably made the best choice if she wanted it, for optics more than anything. And I say that because I know yourself, you were a big proponent of women in politics. But what are your thoughts? Is Cole Simons a short-term option until the party gets to a certain stage? Is he the long term? Because you've got to understand, I think everyone in the OBA has to understand at this point that regardless of what the United Bermuda Party can say they done well for Bermuda, that stigma will never get the OBA elected again with the UBP connection there.
I mean, I think you'll have to ask Cole yourself whether or not he feels it's going to be, whether or not he's a short-term or a long-term, as you put it. But Cole has stepped up, and his vision for where the party needs to be and needs to go is absolutely amazing. It's right on target with what every advisor, every candidate is telling us, and he has the backing of the party.
Okay. And as chair, as I just mentioned, you've been very outspoken in reference to more women in politics. What do you plan on doing as chair to attract more women to be involved on the Bermuda political scene?
We already started our women's caucus again. And I think, during the election, we had a chat group going on as all the female candidates And as soon as that election was over, literally less than a week, we had a little powwow about keeping our women's caucus going, because our women's caucus used to be very strong, used to be amazing. And after the 2017 election, it kind of just didn't go anywhere after that. So we've actually got that reinvigorated. We had our first official women's caucus meeting 2 nights ago, which is so invigorating. And to get women involved, to get our voices heard, and know that we have a platform where we can be supported, as well as, and learn more about the political field, and to be able to be encouraged.
Now, you listed or cited a bunch of things, like, for example, that you did last night. How do you assure the people that you're not going to be so overwhelmed and you'll actually have time to dedicate to your chairmanship?
Part of giving back is the ability to plan and know what your resources are and who your team is around you. So we have a strategic plan in place, and I have an amazing family support. I cannot say enough about the family support, and they are behind me 100% in making sure that what needs to be done gets done. So, and I have the skill set, I have the backings to be able to make sure that we rebuild the proper way.
All righty. And I wanted to go because there was a comment that caller kind of just asked, similar to what I believe this is former OBA MP minister, whatever, Nandi Otterbridge, with all these things on Catherine's plate, how will she be able to repair the party? Kind of answered that just now, but I guess, I'm not sure if Miss Otterbridge is still part of that in the OBA. Quentin Stovall says, if the public, people at large, tell OBA they need to go away, will they abide by that feedback?
I think it comes back to the question that, that I answered earlier today. So if the OBA went away, do you really think that the OBA would go away? Or do you think that they would just, or would parts or segments of that OBA just join up into a different area? We need a strong opposition, and we have the ability to become that strong opposition. It's not something that we've been good at in the past, but we know what we need to do to get it done.
Gotcha. We have a comment from Mr. Talent TJ Clark. OBA never had an action plan. They had a listening problem. What's changed to improve this?
I have spent so much time listening to people over the last few months, asking the questions. What do you want from the party? Where do you see the party going? What did you do differently? Even for those who are former chairs, I've reached out to almost all of them now and said, what would you have done differently during your time? What worked, what didn't work, and trying to learn from those experiences. Only by knowing what the voices want to say can we truly move forward, because we are an alliance.
The low voter turnout, that was discussed a lot. And I think in the beginning of the night, if you looked at footage from the beginning of the night, that I think some folks thought it favored the OBA. And I believe this is one of the first times where it actually, low voter turnout didn't favor the OBA. If that's the case, it would seem that you all have a lot to do to get your own base, motivated and encouraged. And I know you're saying a lot of stuff now, but what are the quick wins? Like, what's the low hanging fruit, things that can be done in the immediate that you have planned to do as chair?
In the immediate, we need to actually improve our communication methods with our members. That's an immediate. Our communication has not always been consistent, not always been wonderful. So we absolutely need to improve that. We also need to be re-engaging and keeping the people engaged that are already engaged with the party. So, and just getting out there, doing volunteer community service hours, getting out there canvassing and being seen as public.
Okay. Let's go through some comment. Go ahead, Carla, sorry.
No, I was going to say, I was just here absorbing what you said, and you said it twice, that if in regards to the OBA going away, that people would they would go to other places, but then there wouldn't be the OBA. So I just find that interesting, that and I applaud it that you're holding on, but I think you're still evading the answer as such, because if I move over to Southampton, I'm still Carla. I just live in Southampton, but I'm no longer Carla in Pembroke. But you're saying if OBA, what's left of it, disbands, they're still going to go into other places, but it wouldn't be the OBA.
You can use the same words and say, well, the UBP disbanded, but yet everyone keeps saying it's UBP OBA. You know, it's the same thing that happens. If the OBA disbanded and hypothetically merged with the FDM, would we call it the UBP OBA FDM?
I find it interesting you keep mentioning the FDM though. Just that's not a question, it's just an observation.
No, because I really think that their platform and what they did, it really does. You have to look back at what our platform was in 2012 and the energy we had behind us, and there's a lot of similarities there.
Yeah, but to your point, two quick things is to your point, Catherine. I think the OBA, you're absolutely correct in saying that if the OBA says, okay, we're gone, there are people who just want to be involved in politics. They're going to show up in that party. So the point is, at the end of the day, the parties, the individuals are not going to go away. The party may. So I think that's the point overall. Now, in reference to what you're saying in terms of the FDM's, their platform and all that, I don't disagree with you. I think what I find interesting, this is the most interesting thing that I think Bermudians need to really catch on to. What Mark Bean's doing is something that, truth be told, the UBP and OBA can't do. Mark Bean is a black man that you cannot, the Progressive Labor Party cannot treat the way that they treat the OBA and the UBP for various reasons, right? So he can literally take a lot of what you guys are doing and present it and take away a lot of their arguments. So I agree with you from that standpoint. It's just a matter of, sometimes, and this is a sad reality, optics play a bigger role in politics than actually like platforms and policies and legislation. Optics, and it's sadly for Bermuda, it's I'm not saying it just began either, don't get me wrong, but optics just seems like it's the most important factor. It does. Let's go to some. We have quite a few. Let me get through some comments. Charles Jeffers, H. Jeffers 2 says, many have said that the OBA should begin a youth movement and look to prepare for 2 or 3 general elections from now. If Ms. Kempe agrees, what steps does the OBA need to take to encourage youth to get involved?
We definitely need to continue with our social media outreach and with ensuring that we are engaging with people on the platforms that they need us to engage with them. Things have changed. This is not the way of communicating from 20, 30 years ago. We need to make sure that we're engaging with people in the methods that they need us to engage with them, but also to show them that we are progressive. We are not the same party we were before, that as an alliance, our views do change over time.
I want to ask, and is there a split within the OBA? Are there issues within the party? And look, as a youth coach, a teammate, there's always going to be issues. There's always going to be people who have different views. But I just think for the benefit of Bermuda, is there a split as to some people support this, some people that? Is it a strong split, like, we'll leave the party? What's the vibe in the OBA since the election?
The vibe is actually amazing in the OBA since the election. Like I said before, in 2017, after the election, the room was empty. It was empty. There was barely anybody there. We've had so many meetings so far with the candidates from the general election. They are in the room. Their vibe is that they want to get back out there. They want to win. They want to be on the doorstep. They want to do things. We are still communicating. We are still having meetings. The vibe is absolutely amazing. We may not agree on every topic or policy platform, but that's what an alliance is. And, talking it out is how we get to those solutions.
Indeed. Let's go. We have Nachika Trot says, how does the OBA plan to expand and increase its base with new members? By the way, how many members do you have, if you don't mind?
I don't have that figure right with me here today. So it is definitely a growing number recently as well, because, you do need to be a member to vote in the election. But party membership and voting is two very different things that we need to recognize. That party membership, are those people who truly do want to be involved and be with the party. But there's a lot of people who support the party and back the party, but just actually don't want to become members. So it's not just about increasing party membership. It's about increasing support back in the people who did support us before, to see, where we went wrong and how we can get their support back.
Obviously, with the vote taking place next week for the chair, you are helped by more members joining and voting for you. Are you confident that you can win the chairmanship, and are you confident that you can achieve the things that you set out to achieve as party chair?
Absolutely. The goals that we have set place, the items that we've put forth, are deliverable, measurable, and achievable items and I have a very strong backing me to, and our team to help get things done. So there have been tons of people that are stopping me in the street, giving me calls, sending me emails, sending me messages. We have so much support. It is really, really enlightening.
All right. Let's go. We have one more. Quentin Stovall says youth movement is an organic upward pressure put upon an organization. In other words, bottom up. In my opinion, the OBA is top down. It's a top down organization and is not capable. Do you agree?
I came from the bottom up. I recognize the importance of the bottom up. The bottom up is what makes any political party survive or fail. So, and yeah, we probably inverted along the way. And that's where things need to be changed, because we are an alliance. We need to use the expertise of those that are around the table. And that's not around the executive table. That's around all of our shadow boards, around our volunteer committees. We need to talk to people, because when we talk to people, we realize that they know a lot of stuff and we can't discount them.
I said one more, but I told a fib. Robert Durham says, what is the deal with Cannonier and Dunkley? I realize Cannonier is no longer the leader, but they never seemed like they were on the same page. And there have been incidents where people have brought to light that it just doesn't seem as if they're on the same page. But are you willing to share anything with us?
I'm not going to share anything with you. I think the only people that should really be answering that question is Cannonier and Dunkley.
All right. So the potential party chair will not speak for all of us. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So when does the election take place, and what other positions are up for grabs?
Okay, so right now the leader of the party has already been conferred. That is Cole, so that will be finalized at the party conference. And the two deputy chairs, Victoria Cunningham and Michael Can, has already been will be finalized at the party conference as well. So the only one up for ballot right now is party chair. And so we are having a Zoom conference because of COVID. We are doing a Zoom conference on Monday evening. So anyone who is a paid up member who we have their emails for on file should be getting a link to join us on the Zoom conference at 6 o'clock on Monday evening. So if you don't receive it on Monday, give our offices a call to make sure. So that way you can join us for that. And then voting is to take place on Tuesday, November 3rd, starting at 10 a.m. over at the OBA offices. So for the entire day. So we're hoping people can sign up oba.bm/membership to renew their membership or to become a member, because without the volunteers, without the members, it's going to take all of us to make this happen, to become that strong opposition that our country deserves.
All right. So the second most important election of the day, November 3rd.
Exactly. Question. But our result will be that out a whole lot sooner.
Oh, I believe it.
When is the absolute latest if someone wanted to become a member of the OBA? They can join up till Monday?
They can join up to a few seconds before they cast their ballot.
Okay.
All right. So, I mean, she said the results will be out way before the other election, probably by months at this point, the way the court is going to handle that one. But Catherine Kemp, thanks again for taking the time. Well, as stated, folks, we'll have Justin Matthias, who is up against Ms. Kemp on Monday to share with us why he is running and why he is the best candidate. But thanks again. We've always got time for you. Anything, please just give us a ring and we'll be happy to have you back.
Perfect. Thanks so much and have a great weekend and happy Halloween to everyone. I know it's going to be a different Halloween for all of our kids, but have a safe one.
Man,
Have a good day and good luck.
All right.
Okay, thanks. Okay.
I forgot about how man, this has definitely been a different 2020, forgetting about Halloween.
I always try to forget about it.
Man, no, Carla, you don't know about me and Halloween. Like November 1st is one of the most, well, the old Jamal, actually. The old Jamal. I haven't done it over the last couple of years, but Halloween was the day that I looked forward to November 1st. It was like Black Friday for me because I would go to the store and get candy for cheap.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, my house almost looked like the candy store the day after. But no, it was a great day in the Hartman household the day after Halloween. And so
I never shared any down the hill. Jeez, the stuff that comes out years later.
Well, no, this was when I was living in the US. I mean,
okay,
I don't think candy really loses that much value in Bermuda, in all fairness. Thanks again to Catherine Kempe for joining us. Folks, we have a very special, easy daily play today where Carla's going to guess where it is. So yeah.
You don't remember? I get the hard ones. It's the easy ones I can't figure out. The stash off spots I got on one time.
Well, you're going to get this one time, Carla.
Okay.
This is I just gave it away. You're going to get it, but she's going to need your help, folks. She's going to need your help to get this answer. So please, please, please give her some help. Want to talk before we even do that, but I want to go back to a couple things. Politically, Bermuda's in a bad state. It really is in a bad state as a country. I say that because, people mention the OBA and listening, right? The problem is, I think we should be more concerned about the dirty when it comes to listening and tone deafness and arrogance and complacency. When you see the positions being filled by a person like Ralph Commissiong and others, it tells you a lot. So let's not just focus on the near opposition, but we need to remember the accountability of those who have the power to pass legislation and policy. I know that Parliament hasn't reconvened, but a good friend of mine said the other day, let me ask you something. Since October 1st, it's almost been a month. What has the current government done that's improved Bermuda? And I said, oh, that's a good question. Now, Carla reported something about getting a company to relocate 90 of its workers there and whatnot. But even from a journalist perspective, well, what is the payoff for the company? I mean, what's the rest of the details? So we have to ask questions. We have to hold accountable. We must not sit back, and we need to put as much focus as we do on the OPA dying as holding the 200,000 plus premier and his government accountable. It's a must. That said, daily playtime, Carla. So what you're doing today is guessing where this is. You're gonna get it one try, but I tried to give you something very easy. Don't mess this up. All right? Here we go.
It's easy. Blue Hole Hill?
So I took everyone. It's only one place in Bermuda that really looks like that. Blue Hill. And you said stash off spot. That's why I was like, yeah, it's probably a stash off spot for people. See? So Blue Hill. Now, can anyone tell us what used to happen in Blue Hill back in the 80s?
Oh, I can. And I can hear him to this day. The Dolphin Show.
Okay. What was the most popular dolphin name?
I can't remember, but Mr. Robinson used to have the Dolphin Show. I remember that. I can remember his voice, the fish in his mouth.
Get that, but what was the name?
Charlie. Charlie.
Folks, help out. What was the?
I can't see the comments.
I know you can't, but you don't need to let people know that either. All right, folks. What's the most popular dolphin name that was done at the dolphin show?
Snappy.
Snappy. That sounds like something you would name your fish.
Ralph.
Come
don't
on,
know.
give it to her, folks. What was the name of the most popular dolphin at the dolphin show?
It wasn't Charlie.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Charlie does sound like a cool dolphin name. Maybe we'll get you a dolphin for Christmas and we'll name him Charlie.
Only if I could get you candy corn.
No.
I don't know. I
No
really
one
don't.
knows the answer. The name.
Fred.
Okay, hold on. You said Charlie. You said Fred. What was the other one?
Ralph.
Ralph.
And Snappy.
And Snappy. So she has 4 names. But here's the thing. I'm going to tell you all the answer because no one wants to get it wrong. Someone says Flipper. No, it was not Flipper. Flipper was the TV dolphin. That was the TV dolphin. So the popular dolphin name down there at the dolphin show, I'm going to share in 5, 4, 3.
First letter. Just give first letter.
P.
Peppy.
Nope.
Okay. Poppy.
We have Bubbles. That's a. We have
Eli. Where you living?
We have Bailey.
It's not a posh dolphin, Kelfie.
All right. So the name of the popular dolphin back then was Patrick.
Oh, wow. Wow.
See,
Patrick.
Somebody got it. Patrick. Patrick was the popular dolphin at the dolphin show back in Bermuda.
That's
Patrick.
similar to Ralph.
Carly, you're begging. You are begging.
Good memories there. Good memories.
Blue Hill, folks. I mean, that's a very nice place. If you've never been, nice nature spot. A lot of people go swimming there, jumping off the rocks. These days anyway. But it was one of the best places to enjoy the dolphin show, doing tricks and so on. Back in the old days. So I say old days, like I'm not I should say back in the good days, not old days. That's Carla. All righty. So Carla, what you got for us? Any inspiration to send us off for the weekend?
Don't let anyone speak for you and don't rely on others to fight for you. Michelle Obama.
Well, I agree. And I guess just telling you that with your voting stuff, this upcoming, 4 days away or 3 days away?
I can't wait. I'm excited. And I don't even like politics. I am excited.
Yeah, I just want it to be over, but it's going to be interesting. A lot of stuff happening in these United States of America. Don't forget, Juggling Jason will be on the Full 100 Radio today, getting you ready for the weekend. Not sure what's been happening, but apologies to those who have been listening on the radio station this morning. There have been some challenges, so we will be checking that out. But if you haven't already, download the Full 100 Radio app available for Apple and Android. Carla, any final words before we let these people go off and enjoy their weekend, Carla and Jamal free?
Yeah, real quick. I just wanted to extend my deepest condolences to the family of Jefferson Smith, who passed away suddenly yesterday, especially his parents and his children. My heartfelt condolences. And Jamal, I'll meet you on the beach. I'll be by the pool, but I'll have a pina colada, okay? Okay. See you in a minute. See you in a minute.
Carla, I did have my virgin pina colada yesterday. I went straight to the restaurant, got me my pina colada. But I think I may have to ask them to check out my friends at the beer companies for my Diet Heineken, so that I can actually enjoy a cold one while I'm there as well. But no, on that note, I want to say this, as Carla just mentioned, the loss of Jeff, that, I often share stories on this show about, when I was coaching young players, right? And I speak of, and I make mention of the parents and how involved so many of the parents were when I coached. So it saddens me to hear the news of one of those fathers, who was Jeff, that has gone on to be with the ancestors. His presence, not only at our games as a father, but also at training sessions and practices, were never unnoticed. And so, I know his sons will continue to make him proud with young Giselle, who I coached now, one of the most prolific goal scorers in Bermuda down there at North Village. So your work is done, Jeff. Take your rest, and your legacy will live through them. to his entire family. Condolences from everyone here at Bermuda Communications and the Daily Hour. We, unfortunately, we're going to let you all go. Carla's going to enjoy the beach. So we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you on Monday. Until then, Carla.
See you at the pool.
You ain't got a bathing suit on, no. I'm ready to go. This is a bathing suit right here. Talk to y'all later. Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House. All recorded episodes and highlights can be found at thedailyhour.com. Stay connected with us by following us at The Daily Hour on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.